Differences between President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris literally could not be any clearer than what we've seen today. So we have President Trump, who is literally on the ground in Georgia. And I'll play this video real quick just because I think it's hilarious because he talks about President Biden for a second. Check this out.
And have you reached out to President Biden about federal relief efforts?
No, I haven't reached out to him. No, I think he's sleeping right now, actually.
The man is tough. He literally says, "No, I haven't reached out to President Biden. I think he's sleeping right now, actually." He's roasting people even whenever he's not even trying. It's crazy. But more so, what's happening right now today on X is people are doing just comparisons between these three people: President Trump, President Biden, and Vice President Kamala Harris. Because we have Trump here in Georgia, we have President Biden at the beach with Jill, relaxing, hanging out, having a good time. And then we have Vice President Kamala Harris in her plane, right? What appears to be taking notes with her phone. And this photo has actually been like really controversial. Check this out. This is what happened. So, Vice President, she posted this on her VP account and she wrote, "I was just briefed by Deanne Criswell on the latest developments about the ongoing impacts of Hurricane Helene. We also discussed our administration's continued actions to support emergency response and recovery. I also spoke with North Carolina Governor Cooper about the ongoing rescue and recovery efforts in North Carolina. Our administration will continue to stay in constant contact with state and local officials to ensure communities have the support and resources they need. Doug and my thoughts are with all those who lost loved ones and those whose homes, businesses, and communities were damaged or destroyed during this disaster." And she posted this seemingly lovely photo of her on a plane, looking a bit distressed, right? Empathetic. That's her best thing, right? And she's taking some notes. She has some coffee. She has her phone she's listening to some music, right? Now, this has been seen more than 27 million times on X. 27.3 million views. Absolutely wild. And I'm sure you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, all the comments, they're probably really supportive. Like this is good, right?" No. All the comments are completely dragging Kamala Harris. It is crazy. Laura Loomer with a top comment says, "Wow, I cannot believe my own eyes. Kamala Harris is pretending to write on a piece of blank paper and is pretending to listen to a call from FEMA about Hurricane Helene, but her headphones aren't even plugged into her phone. OMG. Kamala Harris is literally, you know how to read." Clown World says, "You don't look presidential at all. Stop trying." Gunther Eagleman says, "Your response to North Carolina is pathetic." Donut Operator says, Are we going to give them as much aid as you've given Ukraine?" Sarah Rose, "Your headphones aren't even plugged into your phone." Kamala Harris is getting completely dragged here. Even President Trump spoke on this, and we'll go ahead and play this video right now because I think it's so good. Look at this.
Thank you so much. And I'm excited.
Oh, that's very good. Thank you, fellas.
Look at this, guys. The man, he is on the ground. He's talking with people who essentially could have potentially lost everything. And he's giving them that spark of hope. And I understand where people, like, part of people's criticisms here. Some people said that whenever this happened in Florida and President Biden came in, he came in like a week later after the hurricane struck, and he actually created more chaos than any good, right? Because, obviously, whenever the president comes into town, security, local officials, everything, and the planes coming in, it's a mess, right? So there's an argument that's saying, "Oh, well, you know what? It's actually not good for Trump to be there." And to me, I think it's so fascinating how even when someone is trying to do good, there will always be people who critique it. There will always be people who find an argument saying, "Oh, he actually shouldn't have done that." Even whenever he's delivering hope, even whenever he's delivering joy to people who are so desperate in need of it, people will still say it's wrong. And I'm reminded of like just throughout the scriptures, throughout the gospels. So many times Jesus was attempting to do good and he was under constant scrutiny. People would say, "Oh, you can't heal on the Sabbath. That's bad. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? Giving someone sight. How dare you? What do you think you're doing giving someone the ability to walk? The audacity of this man." There will always be people who critique you even when you're doing good. And I always think about the scripture that says, "Just shake the dust off your feet and move on." And because at the end of the day, I think it's so much better to maybe create chaos while trying to do good than to sit back and do nothing. That's my perspective. It's my official perspective. You could agree with it. You cannot. And speaking of perspectives, this is actually Kamala Harris's perspective here. And you could already see my thoughts, but let's play out the video so you could actually give your interpretation. Check this out.
I have received regular briefings on the impact of Hurricane Helene, including from Administrator Criswell. And over the past 24 hours, I have spoken with Governor Kemp of Georgia, Governor Cooper of North Carolina, and many local officials. I have shared with them that we will do everything in our power to help communities respond and recover. And I've shared with them that I plan to be on the ground as soon as possible, but as soon as possible without disrupting any emergency response operations, because that must be the highest priority in the first order of business. The devastation from Hurricane Helene is immense. Millions of Americans are without power. Thousands of families have lost their homes. Entire neighborhoods have been destroyed. Major roads have been blocked or damaged, leaving entire towns inaccessible at this very moment. Already, nearly 100 people have been confirmed dead, and hundreds more are missing. The destruction we have seen in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North.
I just think it's so hard to watch. I don't even think I'm gonna keep watching it. I'll go ahead and have this linked up in my media section because I always do that. But she wrote, "To everyone who's been impacted by Hurricane Helene, and to all of those who are rightly feeling overwhelmed by the destruction of this loss, our nation is with you." Sounds great, right? But you know what I saw throughout this entire moment experience? I just saw Kamala Harris not even be able to look the camera straight in the face or directly. What I saw was Kamala Harris reading a script that was prepared by her team of Gen Z script writers, and at the end, she didn't even take any questions. At the end, you just see her walk off. Well, they actually cut the part off of her walking off because it doesn't make her look good, right? You can find it on, I believe, on MSNBC's YouTube channel. But I just think it's so disappointing. And whenever I think about Kamala Harris presidency, I can't help but imagine that this is going to be the normal experience. She won't take questions from people. She won't be on the ground with them to deliver hope, to deliver comfort, to deliver this whole joy that she says she's about whenever she's having these scripted experiences. And I just love that while President Trump is here on the ground visiting those people who are affected, Kamala Harris is on some random podcast that's also rehearsed, scripted, and such a professional setting. Again, not speaking to reporters, not speaking to journalists, not having any other professional sort of interview, and that frightens me. Kennedy says this all the time. He says we need a leader who could actually speak to the press. Because if you have someone who's like Kamala who can't actually communicate or articulate what's happening right now and what we need to happen in the future, what's going to happen whenever chaos strikes? Who's going to communicate to the American people? And are they going to communicate in a way that actually makes you comfortable? What happens whenever foreign leaders actually need to communicate with America, but there's no representative to be found. Maybe Kamala Harris is dodging phone calls. Maybe Kamala Harris is just not speaking with them. Maybe they're just not on good terms because again, maybe she's good at delivering these scripted responses, but maybe when the time comes, all she's doing is just sitting in a plane with her with her phone not even plugged in, listening to who knows what. It scares me, and I think a lot of people are actually in agreement. I saw this today. This was shared this morning. It does look like Kamala Harris is people's worst nightmares. Check this out. This was from CNN.
But look at where Kamala Harris is today. She's only leading by 9 points. That would be the worst Democratic performance in a generation, 10 points off the mark of Joe Biden, who, of course, won 4 years ago, was sort of that union guy, Union Joe, right? Won it by 19 points. She's 10 points off his mark and the worst in a generation. But look at.
Are you kidding me? Kamala Harris on CNN, they wrote, would be the worst performance for the Democratic Party since when? Since 1984. That is absolutely wild. That's crazy. So I do think Kamala Harris I think she needs to restore faith in so many hearts of the American people. I think she needs to talk in interviews. I don't think she could be dodging the press. Do I agree with her on a lot of things? No. But do I think that the Democratic Party deserves someone who's actually front and center and a better expression of the American people? I do. Absolutely, I do. And I hope Kamala Harris could become that person. But as of right now, we don't know. Also, something exciting is happening tonight. Tonight, I'm gonna be a part of a live panel, and the question is gonna be, how is RFK Jr. affecting Trump's campaign? It's gonna be with Larry Sharp. I had an interview with him maybe like 2 months ago now, and it was absolutely fantastic. And it's going to be great. I'm really excited to talk about it with some other incredible journalists and reporters, and I think it's gonna be great. So if you guys wanna be part of that, check it out, watch live. It'll be all linked up, and I think it's gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be on YouTube, X, Rumble, so that's gonna be exciting. Another thing I wanted to share is I wrote a newsletter. I wrote a newsletter breaking down this idea or this question that I got in a comment recently asking, if I'm for Trump. And I just think that's such a great conversation, and I wanted to expand on it aside from the comment directly, because I thought I actually have a lot of thoughts here, and I feel like it's inappropriate to have it in the comment section because not a lot of people are going to see it, and I just thought breaking it down in a longer format like this actually would be more beneficial and helpful, and it would help me get my point across in a clear way. So if you guys want to read it, go for it. It's going to be linked up. If you want to subscribe to the newsletter, you absolutely can. There's going to be these little sections where you could go ahead and subscribe. And just if you just want to read it and get my perspective on kind of this election, I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, and I'm really excited. I'm really passionate about writing, especially in this way, and I've been trying to do a little bit more of it. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, it's going to be linked up. And also check this out. This is going to be fun. I'm excited for it, a little bit nervous for it, but yeah. Also, please let me know in the comments about what you thought of all the other conversations that we had today, including the responses from Team Trump and Team Harris, and let me know which future you actually want to see more of. Okay, because I think I know where I stand here, and I'm genuinely curious about where you stand. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. And if you want to see me with Larry Sharp, go for it. Also, subscribe to the newsletter. Why? Why not? Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate your time so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support what we're building here, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and it really helps us out. And if you want to see even more content from me, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing a lot more on there. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.